this is a continuation of why Ashtanga. Why are you guys all here this morning? All the other places you could be. Because you love the transitions. Because we don't just do like one pose, then I say, okay, get out the next pose. You might go to a class that's more static, a yin class, where you could be doing one pose for 10, 15 minutes. That's beautiful. This is different. Ashtanga is based on this idea of vinyasa. We have an entrance, we have an exit to every single destination asana we're getting to. So a couple weeks ago we worked on jump throughs, and today we're going to work on how we jump or step back and how we use our frames. So I was talking about last time we did the jump throughs, that it's like the frame of a swing set. And I was saying when I was younger you could buy these cheapo swing sets and put them in your backyard, and then when you were swinging, if your parents hadn't grounded it very well, it was my neighbors, it wasn't my parents, the leg would come up like this, and they'd be like, the swing set's gonna go over. But I see the same when I notice people jumping through and pulling back, is their frames aren't secure. They're not rooting enough through the hands and keeping their frame straight. One of the things I see is that people bend their elbow and collapse when you just get about halfway through. You know, where you start to come through, I see it collapse. And then I also see, because people so much want to jump through, they actually lift that leg of the swing set and kind of swing the legs a little bit to the side to get through. So we want to have a beautiful, good sthira sukham is what we've been studying. So this swing set frame, rooting down beyond my hands into the floor, is my sthira. My sukham is my swing, my sthira is my bandhas. So one of the ways that I modify, or when new students come, I would teach them this, but I happen to have, as fate would have it, a shoulder injury. Yay! So I can demonstrate how I'm actually going to do it today. And that would be to cross your ankles. It's a two-step process, and I'm going to encourage everyone to pick it up and to sit back down and to switch your hands and to jump back or step back. So what I see a lot, though, is when people are ready to jump, we're ready to jump back because we've made the call. Let's say I was in Janu Sirsasana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I inhale as part of the vinyasa. I exhale, I release my hands, and I see where people just cross their ankles and just jump back from here. Why don't I want you to do it? I don't even want to call it right or wrong because teachers have different opinions on things. Why don't I want you to do it? It's a Diana thing. Right, so it actually, it's called a pickup. So if I just bring my hands forward and jump back, I miss the pickup part. I miss picking it up, and I miss the opportunity to have my bandhas engaged. I miss the opportunity to really work with my frame. Even with my shoulder injury, this is one of the best things I can do is resist the floor. So I asked Emily to be my demo for right now to show you why we pick it up from the front, because that's the only way we can actually jump back. So let's do it up. Do the full one first. I like the little move she did.
Yeah, that kind of gives you the momentum.
Emily, move. So now she's going to demonstrate what we do when we're on our journey towards getting a jump through, where you kind of get halfway through, and then you bring your feet to the floor and jump back. That's where a lot of us get. And sometimes it looks more like, and maybe I can do this with my shoulder, is where you pick it up from the front, and maybe you're like sliding it halfway through, and then you jump back. Is sort of how that process goes. So in the practice today, and those of you that are following us, I really want to encourage you to move the furniture around and try to do this slightly different. So maybe you are that person that just jumps with your hands in front of you. I want you to work on picking it up and jumping back. You can see Emily and I do this. It doesn't take any more time to do the two-step one. And then to start maybe using your frame a little bit stronger to then get halfway through, tap your feet, and then come all the way back. So that is an Ashtanga vinyasa. We say that's a transition, and it's part of my teaching today is about the journey and the destination. So one of the beautiful things that is uniquely different about a vinyasa, specifically in Ashtanga methodology, is that I'm not here thinking about, I'm going to get to headstand, back bends. Because I am so present in the moment the vinyasa I'm in, the breath, the movement, and the drishti, all of that keeping me focused on right now, what I'm doing right now, And also we talked about this the other week, and letting go of what I just did and what I'm going to do. This is something we contemplate in life when we start thinking about the philosophy of meditation and yoga and the benefit of all this, is that they say 80 to 90, 95% of the time, our unconscious mind is in what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm thinking about, or what I did yesterday, or patterns from yesterday. So for us to train ourselves on our yoga mat to be right here is to say, I want you to be present for the journey. Destination is lovely. We all have something in our practice right now that you can say, I'm really trying to open up my back bends. I'm really trying to lighten up my bandhas in my asana form or whatever. And those are lovely because they give us these things that we're moving towards, that we're working towards. And at the same time, you don't want to spend all your time like just stuck on the destination and not enjoy the journey. And there are two different ways I see that in the practice. One is I believe the vinyasa system really does keep us in this moment. Because you can remember like when you couldn't do headstand, maybe when you were new, and you might have even dreaded it a little bit. Like, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of the other students, and I didn't quite have the muscles yet. But it was a process. And so often people would say to me like, like they're frustrated, like, I can't do headstand. What am I doing wrong, Diana? And I lovingly say like, you're doing everything right. Unless you're already done wrong, right? But some of it's just like getting the muscles and moving through the process of maybe bring your elbows in a little bit more. Or maybe just know it's going to take a few weeks or a few months to really build those muscles. And there's this really loving compassion that comes with that, but also it's like the mom or the teacher saying like, enjoy the process. Because think about the things that came easy to you. Like I asked Jean to do something and he can just like, boom, he can just do it. Ask him to do the next thing, boom, he can just do it, no problem, what's next? But all of a sudden we come up against that thing that we can't do. And that's what really builds our internal koshas and our strength in life, is to be patient with ourselves. And to even within, not even just be patient, but to be like, I'm enjoying this process. I'm enjoying not being able to do it. I'm injured right now. I'm enjoying doing it differently because I can't do it the way I normally do. And that to become part of the bigger process of what this practice really has to give each one of us on our journey. And then the other thing I want to say about Ashtanga too is that, sometimes we get so excited about different destinations that are on our path that we forget to dance with it. And so I think it feels like Ashtanga is linear. We're in primary series, so you're going to go from this pose and don't do it out of order. It goes like this, like this, like this. When you master this in Mysore, then I give you another pose. And when you master that, I give you another pose. And it feels very linear. But how many of you would say your process of your physical body, your energetic body, and your spiritual body in this practice has been linear? No way. It's a dance. It's a full-on dance. And even when I think about life, I'm born, I learn how to walk, I go to school, I learn my ABCs, and then we think like life's meant to be linear. No way. No, even I can see like with aging, like with my father right now, like to see that process of where we shift and change and become more simple, or this idea of this really, I like to use the term or the thought for all of us, it's like we dance through it. We dance through the process and we move this direction, and sometimes it feels like we move this direction and, oh, I'm injured, so I'm going to move a little bit this direction. And the more we can see that in yoga as a practice place, to take that in our life, it's all about the teachings of yoga that are non-attachment, and to really just be in that, yes, I have destinations, but I don't want to miss this journey. I don't want to miss the process of getting to those. So the quotes I have hidden under the mat today, the secret quotes for today, are two very, very, very simple quotes you've all heard before, but I'm magically sprinkling my hypnosis magic fairy dust all over each of you to say, I want you to consider these quotes kind of like mantras, but also mind shifters. So, because I want you to see this teaching today out of this room and in your life, like things in your life that you're a little impatient, things in your life that feel like a destination, where you might be missing a little bit of just being present in the journey. The first one, of course, is by Emerson, and he said, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And I think most of the time when we have some great destination that we're like all about that, you really do, when you have these moments of reflection, step back and go, but I really enjoyed the process. That was what was most important. Because sometimes even the destination changes. We don't get what we want. You know, so God help, I hope we enjoyed the journey. The second one, we're giving credit to Margaret Lee Runback, but I'm not sure who said this first. Maybe she did. Happiness is not a station you arrive at, but a manner of traveling. And I think of that so much because we think of destinations like, I'll be happy when I can do this in my yoga practice. I'll be happy when I make this much money. I'll be happy when I have this job. I'll be happy when da-da-da. When really, if we're always, Sean Aker says is so wonderful in Happiness Advantage, if we're always doing that, we're always pushing the mark rather than just traveling in this happiness, which again, as we were saying with the book Joy by the Dalai Lama and Bishop Tutu, is one of the benefits of doing this practice is we get to be present and joyful in this journey. And then I said, this is your practice, your path, your unique journey. Enjoy the process. Namaste.